They stole my family's land, built 35 luxury homes on it, and laughed in my face when I warned them. But what the HOA didn't realize was that my grandfather had built a dam above that valley, and on one stormy night, I opened it. The first thing you should know about me is this: I am not a man who likes trouble. My name is Thomas Jenkins, and for nearly 70 years, I lived quietly on the land my father and grandfather left me. 100 acres of fields, forest, and water. At the heart of it all was the dam, a hulking old structure my grandfather built with his bare hands. It held back a massive reservoir, a lake that glistened like glass on calm mornings, and roared like a beast when the floodgates were opened. That dam had watered our fields for generations. It was ours. It was mine. But one thing I never expected was how greed could try to take it all. It started with strangers in shiny suits driving expensive trucks. I thought they were just land surveyors at first. Then, one morning, I saw bulldozers on the far side of my property. I marched down there, my cane hitting the dirt like a drum. "Hey, what do you think you're doing on my land?" I shouted. A man in sunglasses and a slick suit turned toward me, smirk on his face. "This is HOA property now, sir. We're developing a new neighborhood, 35 luxury homes." I laughed in disbelief. "You're standing on my land. I never sold it." He pulled out a stack of papers and waved them at me. "County records say otherwise. We've got the permits. We've got the signatures. You don't own this anymore." And just like that, the nightmare began. I went to the county clerk's office the very next morning. I showed them my deed, a yellowed, decades-old document with my family name printed clear as day. But they shrugged. "Mr. Jenkins," the clerk said, avoiding my eyes, "the HOA filed new ownership papers last year. According to our system, the land belongs to them now. It was theft, plain and simple. Some corrupt official must have signed it over behind my back." I hired a lawyer, but he shook his head after 2 weeks. "They've got money, sir. Money buys paperwork. Money buys judges. This case is dead before it starts." I felt the weight of helplessness pressing down on me. My land, my family's history, stolen in broad daylight. But the HOA wasn't finished humiliating me. A few weeks later, they held a neighborhood event on the property. Music blared, balloons floated in the air, and families smiled as they toured the brand new homes sitting right in the valley below my dam. I walked up to the president of the HOA, a man named Richard Cole, tall, smug, and dressed in an expensive blazer. "You've made a mistake," I told him, voice shaking with anger. "This land isn't safe. You built in a floodplain. My dam is right up there. If the gates open..." He cut me off with a laugh. "Then keep it shut, old man. Nobody cares about your dam. This is progress. This is the future." His friends chuckled beside him, sipping wine as if my warning were a joke. That was the day I swore I wouldn't be ignored again. Months passed. The homes filled with families, shiny cars in the driveways, kids riding bikes in the cul-de-sac, parents waving like everything was perfect. But they didn't know the truth. They didn't know the HOA had lied to them, just like they lied to me. The sky turned black one evening, thunder rolling across the hills. Rain fell in sheets, hammering against my windows. I sat in my old rocking chair, staring at the dam through the downpour. I could feel it straining, groaning under the weight of the swollen reservoir. That's when the thought came to me. A thought that started as a whisper, but grew louder and louder in my mind. "They stole your land. They built on your valley. They ignored your warnings. Show them who really owns this place." I grabbed my lantern and raincoat and began to climb up the slick stone path to the dam. The wind howled, whipping the rain sideways. My hands trembled as I reached the massive steel wheel that controlled the floodgates. Rust clung to it like blood on iron. For a moment, I hesitated. Was I really about to do this? Then I remembered Richard Cole's smirk. I remembered the clerk's shrug. I remembered the sound of bulldozers chewing through my soil like it meant nothing. And I began to turn the wheel. Slowly at first, the groan of old metal echoing through the storm. Then faster, water roaring louder with every inch. The floodgates cracked open, and the beast was free. It started as a surge, then a torrent. A wall of water exploded from the dam, racing down the valley like a dragon unleashed. Trees snapped, rocks tumbled. The once peaceful creek became a monster. Within minutes, the subdivision was underwater. Streets vanished, cars floated, and those 35 homes, those stolen homes, were swallowed by the flood. I watched from the hillside, lantern light flickering on my soaked face. I felt no joy, no triumph, only justice. The HOA had stolen from me, but nature took it back. By morning, the neighborhood was gone. Muddy water pooled where white picket fences once stood. Reporters swarmed in, helicopters buzzing overhead. The homeowners were furious, not at me, but at the HOA. They discovered the truth. The land wasn't legally theirs. The homes weren't safe, and they had been lied to from the very beginning. Lawsuits piled up. The HOA collapsed under the weight of scandal and debt. Richard Cole vanished, his empire in ruins. And me. The courts finally restored my deed. My land was mine again. I rebuilt the dam stronger than ever. And on a wooden sign at the base, I carved the words that would never let anyone forget. Private land. Respect it, or watch it wash away. So if you ever drive past my reservoir and see that still, silent water, remember this. It isn't just a lake. It's a reminder that some things can't be stolen, because when you build on another man's land, you'd better be ready when the water starts to rise.